What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to share this one with you, which is funny because I just brought it back from the dead. What I mean by that, really, is I just didn't play this for the longest time. It had a busted E string. I put it aside. I've been fiddling and doodling with all the other stuff. Plus, my buddy's been hooking me up with those Glaries and all kinds of other happenings in the guitar world, as it is here in my home anyhow. But this is one of my favorite guitars, oddly enough. It came to me at a time where I was craving a Strat. At the time I had my Charvel CX290. That satisfied my need for a neck and middle single coil position. But I was perusing the Facebook Marketplace and this came up for free. And luckily enough, I messaged the lady and she was like, yeah, no, it's still here. I said, please don't give it to anyone else. I'm going to be driving like 45 minutes, an hour away, but it's so worth it to me. And sure as hell, it was there in a bag. It was during the COVID time still, too. It was kind of a weird situation. We literally just drove up to the house. There was a trash bag on the floor. It's covered in stickers. And it's funny because it had, I believe in nail polish, the letters AC right here. And I was going to keep that. I removed everything but one sticker, and I was going to leave that because I want to leave a little of the guitar's legacy, you know. And the reason I want to keep the AC is because I'm the Atari creep. That's what most people know me for on YouTube and the internet, if they know me at all. But I eventually, obviously, removed that, and I found a giant vinyl sticker on Etsy, Haunted Mansion. And that's from a candle. It's a Peavey Predator. It's the block Peavey logo. I prefer the other one, but that's all right. Maybe I'll find a small amp that has that real pointy head, you know, that pointy lettering, and I'll glue it on here. But as you see in the back, if you can read upside down, this is crafted in USA, blah, 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 blah. What's interesting about these guitars, let me get back to the guitar, is that if I read correctly, these were the first production USA guitars that utilized CNC machinery. Leave it up to Harvey Peavey to come up with something like that, right? He's like the, almost a Henry Ford of guitar amp, I should say, anyway. Production up until, of course, recent events, which we will not get into. I've been a Peavey fan my whole life. I used to scarf at these, though. I had no idea that the USA models were going to be this good. This good. Everything's stock with one exception. Well, a couple of exceptions. Obviously, the stickers. The switch tip came from my Charvel 290. This is a 3D printed knob. It's got some kind of a demon or something on the front. I don't remember what I printed on the top, but it didn't come out the greatest, but I put it on there anyway. They're not yellowing, but much like David Gilmour's, the lettering itself is turning green. And that happens with a lot of these. The gold that they use, and I'm sure it's not real gold, that's why it goes green. But whatever material they use to paint the numbers and the tone and volume lettering on the control knobs, they turn green in some cases, you know. If I were to turn this into a Gilmour Black Strat, I'm already halfway there. You know, all they'd really have to do is change the pick guard, and hopefully swap out the pickups. Let's talk about the pickups. Let's go clean. Let me get rid of the drive, and I'll get rid of the cool delay. One thing these things are known for, and hopefully you can hear it all. This is the bridge pickup. It's very brittle. Very bright and shiny. Ooh. Again, keep in mind, I put strings on it yesterday. I stretched them out, and I've been kind of working them out here. But so that's the bridge in middle. It's got that nice Dire Straits kind of job, you know. Middle by itself. Nice, useful sound. Very nice, useful sound. All right, so now we're going to get into some bad section. Well, maybe not so much bad, but... I do have the middle pickup set a little lower than probably most people do, and it's because of this specific pickup and how it mates up with this one when they're engaged together. It's the best I can get from it. And now the neck pickup. Yeah, the thing these things are known for mostly are, you know, with these two pickups, this is too bright and these are too woolly. Like they really, let me put the drive back on. It has a... It's definitely useful, but not in every scenario. I do want to turn this into my ultimate Strat. The neck is amazing. I love the neck on this thing. It's just, it's flat. I don't think it's a 12-inch radius. You'll have to check on that yourself. I believe this guitar was a 92. The pickups are ceramic. They have a flat bar magnet on the bottom. And there was this dude back in the day, and he annoys the hell out of me, but his content is great. Groovy music something or other. Reminded me of Cat from locally. But he has, well, I think he just recently sold a lot of it, but he had a great collection of guitars, and he loved these. He loved the pickups and everything. Bro, if you want these, let me know. Because I do plan on swapping them out. I want to get the Seymour Duncan psychedelic set for these. And then I want to get a wiring harness. I forget the name of the company. But Zounds, I can get them both. Of course, make payments on it. But it's got your typical 5-way setup like a Gilmore. Where, you know, your 5-way switch is a typical 5-way switch. And then there's a switch right here in order to engage the neck pickup in any position. Here, on a normal Strat, you can't get these two together. So you flick the switch, bam, now you have them, right? You go here in the middle between these two, flick the switch, now all three pickups are engaged. Whether or not that's useful or not, I guess I'll leave that up to the individual. There's another option I can get from them where this is no longer a tone knob, it's a blender. Blends in the neck or the middle. I can't remember which one. So you can basically do the same thing, but you can slowly blend it in to come up with a myriad of other tones. You get the idea. If you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about already. I don't know if I said it yet. Alder body, maple neck, caps, no skunk stripe. But I'll be damned if I can see where they mated the two pieces of wood. But I know for a fact that this is not a one piece. You can kind of see it in the higher registers once you get into like the 9th to 12th area. The pots are full size. There's nothing to write home about. The bridge itself is kind of a weird... I don't know. I've seen successful bridges with this kind of a screw setup before. These bridges work best in a floating scenario anyway. And you got to remember on a Strat with this type of fulcrum kind of situation, it's not about dive bombs. It's about whirly. You know, just getting the whole... You know, you get the idea. I just don't have a bar put in this one. And I do have it decked down. And if I were to use it now, this thing would go horribly out of tune. And everybody's like, well, you know, these bridges suck. You should replace them. The bridges are fine. They function just fine if you set it up properly. The saddles and the blocks suck. So I may replace the saddles. StewMac has these really neat ones where the little screw things here don't protrude. They actually adjust from underneath it. It's you'd have to see it. It's a really interesting concept. And they're just like regular Fender bent steel. So I might put those in there and give it a brass block. I do want to replace the electronics eventually. And this may become my main guitar, you know? And it does sound fine. I don't want to pick on it unnecessarily. So It sounds fine as is. The pots and everything are all right. I mean, the tone leaves a little bit to be desired. Just sit there and... There we go. And it kind of starts to engage around 5 or 6. And then just kind of stops. I'll give it that. It's got the single coil version of woman tone. It's just too honky, you know, and it's because of how fuzzy this pickup is, how it feels like it's wrapped in wool. Woolly is the word a lot of people like to use, but yeah. That's my Peavey Predator, my American early 90s Peavey Predator. Guys, these things sold for $100 all day long not too long ago. I can't imagine they're fetching more than a couple $100. I think if you start getting into the $400 to $500 range, you need to back off. But make sure it's one of the ones with alder, an alder body, because they did eventually go to like laminate bodies. And when you sand down the guitars, that's very evident in the cutaways. But yeah, that's it. This is my Peavey Predator. This is one of my favorite guitars. I love playing this thing regardless of the electronics being a little silly. I actually had to de-aux everything because they were scratchy and weren't engaging, including a cheap 5-way switch. They did use import stuff here. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of cleaning, it's working fine. The thing stays in tune for the most part, as you can tell. Except for that high E string, which I need to tune again. But it intonates perfectly. The frets are great. They got plenty of life on them. I would like to put a bone nut on it, but it's got a plastic black one now. But it's doing its job. So, it is what it is. Peavey Predator USA. Do not scarf at these. If you see one of these at your pawn shop for like $100, grab it. They're really fantastic modding platforms. I know we're sick of hearing that with cheaper guitars, but remember, this was an American-made guitar that was actually made with quality. But it is solid. The tuners are stock, and they work just fine. They get kind of a vintage feel to them. Closed back. You saw them when I showed you the headstock. I don't need to belabor that. Black dots. I don't know what else to tell you. The Foolish Mortal, guys. That's what I call this Bad Larry. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have one of these? Did you learn on one of these? I know a lot of cats that did. And when they upgraded, I wish I had known then what I know now about these. I would have swooped them out off of everyone's hands. I'd like to get a red one. I definitely want a cream one. Worst case scenario, just buy the neck. The necks are amazing on these. It is going to be a shame to get rid of that that bridge pickup. But guys, again, let me know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback to the positive. Thank you always so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, this is supposed to be a vlog channel, but we talk about guitars more often than not. So, I mean, if that's your jam, then rad. If not, thanks for stopping by anyway. I appreciate it. Guys, I hope wherever in the world you are, you're doing well. And until next time, take care, keep it real, and bye-bye.